Loyalty is priceless, but it's a rare thing to come across in the world of football nowadays, with a select few players being an exception, of course. And with money being one of the main drivers behind players' ambitions nowadays, it's no surprise that betrayal has become a more common theme in football, as some footballers have pulled some snaky moves on their clubs over the years, by moving to their polar opposite rivals either for money or just as a way of revenge against their former club. So let's take a look at footballers who were brave enough to betray their clubs. Emmanuel Adebayor, the Togolese striker, has been all over the place playing for many different European clubs, including Arsenal, after he arrived in North London in 2006 for £3 million, and built a good relationship with Arsenal fans and did well with the club, getting 62 goals in 142 games, and even got into the PFA Team of the Year in 2008, as well as being named African Footballer of the Year that same year. However, things turned toxic quickly between Arsenal and Adebayor after he was accused by Wenger for moving to Man City for the money, which led Adebayor to build a strong hatred towards Arsenal. And after playing against Arsenal in 2009, Van Persie got into an altercation with Adebayor and accused him of kicking him in the face. But it didn't stop there, as after Adebayor scored the winner in Man City's 4-2 win against Arsenal, he ran the full length of the pitch just to celebrate in front of the travelling away fans, producing one of the most iconic moments in football history, which, as you may expect, didn't go down so well with the Arsenal fans. Ronaldo Nazario. When you're the best striker of all time, it's no surprise that you get tempting offers from all over the world to play at all the top clubs, including your club's rivals, which is exactly what happened to Ronaldo, as after an incredible time at Barcelona, the Brazilian made a move due to various issues regarding his contract, as he moved to Inter Milan, where he signed for a record fee of €27 million. And at Inter, Ronaldo was Ronaldo, getting 69 goals in 99 games over his 5 seasons with them, allowing him to pick up his first Ballon d'Or in the process. However, like Barcelona, Ronaldo didn't stay for too long and made a move to Barcelona's historic rivals, Real Madrid, in 2002 for another record fee of €46 million, where he won 2 La Ligas and scored 104 goals in 177 games. But as many of us know, Ronaldo was plagued by injuries, as well as having various issues with manager Capello, leading him to move to Inter's rivals AC Milan, and then Brazilian club Corinthians, where Flamengo fans burnt Ronaldo shirts outside the club's headquarters, as Ronaldo had betrayed the club he originally supported by joining their arch rivals Corinthians. So to be honest, it's fair to say Ronaldo isn't the most loyal footballer, but to be fair, R9 is still an absolute legend and the friendly Brazilian we all know and love, Zlatan Ibrahimovic. Like Ronaldo, Ibrahimovic is another legendary striker of football and a player who's played pretty much all across Europe, which includes him moving to and from rival clubs, as after a successful time at Juventus, winning 2 Serie A titles, Ibra moved to their fierce Italian rivals Inter Milan, where Ibra really put his name on the map after he won 3 league titles at Inter and 2 Supercoppa Italianas, getting 66 goals in 117 games, and it looked like Zlatan was on his way to go down as an Inter legend. But after seeing his best mate and teammate Maxwell move to Barcelona, he went down the same path. So life is looking good for Ibra, right? Well, not so much, as despite being in one of the best teams ever, Zlatan's relationship with Pep Guardiola went sour after he decided to centre Barcelona's tactics around Lionel Messi. No arguments there, I guess. But Ibra still wasn't happy about this, and after being eliminated in the Champions League semi-finals to former club Inter, Ibra and Pep got into a confrontation, where Ibra shouted to Pep, "You haven't got any balls.
You don't like to touch balls? So I love it."
And after switching tactics prioritising Messi, Ibra had enough and made a move to Inter's rivals AC Milan, where he had another successful period, winning more trophies like the Supercoppa Italiana and 2 Serie A titles. But it's fair to say, like Ronaldo, this guy ain't too loyal either. Ashley Cole. I still won't sign for another Premiership team, as I could not see myself playing against Arsenal. I would only want to play abroad. These are the famous last words of Ashley Cole, before he betrayed Arsenal by moving to West London to join Chelsea. And to be honest, Cole is probably the best fullback to step foot in the Prem, making his debut in 1999 at just 18 and making over 200 appearances for the Gunners. And although things were on the up for Cole at Arsenal, he was found guilty of contacting Chelsea over a potential move, leading him to be fined £75,000. So when I tell you things became toxic between the club and the player from then on, I doubt you're in shock, as Cole said he was treated as a scapegoat and said, "I suspect there are people at this club who don't want me to pull on a Gunners shirt again," which led him to make a move to Chelsea for £5 million, with William Gallas going the other way. And as expected, things didn't go down too well with Arsenal fans, as they believed Cole went behind their backs, as Cole was even dubbed the name Cashley Cole, and Arsenal fans even waved fake cash notes with Andy Cole's face on it during Chelsea and Arsenal's matchup in 2006. Carlos Tevez. After signing him on loan from West Ham, Tevez enjoyed great success at Man United, winning 2 league titles and a Champions League, and playing a vital role in all of them, as well as displaying some impressive performances over a 2-year loan spell. But Tevez became frustrated about not being offered a permanent contract, as well as being dropped from the first team despite his good performances. And when United finally offered Tevez a 5-year contract to make him one of the club's highest paid players. Tevez rejected the offer and said he no longer wanted to play for United, making his move to bitter Mancunian rivals Man City. And when the Argentine arrived, Man City added salt to the wounds of United fans after they put up a billboard of Tevez with the words "Welcome to Manchester." Michael Laudrup. Not many footballers have the balls to move from Barcelona to Real Madrid, especially when you're a world-class player and the main man in your team. However, Danish midfielder Laudrup did it anyway, and at Barca, Laudrup established himself as a well-respected midfielder, as well as one of the most talented and skillful playmakers in football history. And along with manager Johan Cruyff, Laudrup was part of one of the most successful Spanish sides in history, winning 4 consecutive league titles, and Johan Cruyff was Laudrup's idol growing up. But after being left out of the European Cup final in 1994, Laudrup fell out with Cruyff, leading him to move to arch-rivals Real Madrid as a way of getting revenge against his former manager. But to be fair, Laudrup is still respected by both Barca and Madrid fans, which is pretty rare. I guess only the best can have that type of respect. Cristiano Ronaldo. After making a fairy tale move back to Manchester United in 2021 and getting 2 goals on his debut versus Newcastle as well, many United fans saw this as a dream come true. But as time went on, this transfer turned into a nightmare, as Ronaldo became unhappy about being left out of the starting 11 constantly, despite him getting older. And during United's 3-2 win over Spurs, Ronaldo refused to come on as a sub and walked down the tunnel, leaving Old Trafford before the full-time whistle even blew. And quite rightly, Ten Hag dropped Ronaldo because of this. And then after, as we all know, things just went crazy. But shortly after, Ronaldo did an hour-and-a-half interview with Piers Morgan, which I'm sure you all know about, saying he felt betrayed and criticised the players and the facilities, and a whole bunch of other stuff, which I could probably make a whole video about. And after everything that happened at United, Ronaldo had enough, and his contract was terminated by mutual consent, and he moved to Al Nassr in Saudi Arabia. Robin van Persie, one of the most elite goal scorers to play in the Prem. Van Persie quickly established himself as one of Arsenal's best and most important players in their recent history. After signing for the Gunners in 2004, and during his 8 years at the club, Van Persie brought joy to many Arsenal fans, with his elite ball striking ability, volleys and set pieces, and scored 108 goals in 246 games, and even won his first Golden Boot in 2012 with the Gunners. However, in July 2012, Van Persie announced that he would no longer be extending his contract. A month later, he made a snaky move to Arsenal's arch nemesis, Man United, for 22 million, which again didn't go down that well with Arsenal fans, as they started to burn their Van Persie jerseys and developed a strong hatred towards the Dutchman. And to make matters even worse, Van Persie for some reason wore this. Yes, it's a mix between the United and Arsenal shirt, which just added fuel to the fire and got Arsenal fans even more angry. Sol Campbell. Like with the Andy Cole one, I'm going to start this one off with another quote. I think it would upset all the Spurs fans if I went to Arsenal. Not that I'm going to.
What about your situation, Sol? Will you be staying at Tottenham?
I'm staying.
And as we all know, the complete opposite happened, as whilst at Spurs, Campbell really started to grab the attention of lots of football fans and clubs around the world, due to his strength, power, pace, but also his world-class defensive ability, which even saw him get the captain's armband for Spurs. But Campbell's relationship with a lot of Spurs managers wasn't that great, and they struggled to build a relationship with him. And after being offered a prosperous contract, which would have made Campbell Spurs' highest paid player in history, Campbell actually turned it down, as he wanted to play Champions League football and win trophies. And despite interest from many top clubs around Europe, the club he decided to move to was Tottenham's #1 local rival, Arsenal, which came as a shock transfer, because surprisingly there was no rumours about this, and Campbell just sort of turned up at Arsenal out of nowhere, a transfer the Spurs fans will never forget, for the wrong reasons. Luis Figo. Snake, traitor, Judas. These are some of the words Barca fans would use to describe Portuguese winger Luis Figo, who was en route to become a Barca legend. And to be honest, this is probably the worst portrayal of them all. And it all starts with Florentino Perez, the Real Madrid president, who said all Real Madrid club members could attend all home matches for free if he couldn't bring Figo to Madrid in his bid to become the Real Madrid president, which is a pretty big statement obviously, considering how good Figo and Barcelona were at the time. But to be fair, somehow Perez pulled off the impossible, and he managed to sign Figo for a world record fee of 62 million, which was a shock transfer to all, Barca fans especially. And from then on, every El Clasico had Figo in the spotlight, no surprises, being booed every time he got the ball by Barcelona fans, as well as having missiles, golf balls, beer bottles, whatever you can think of being thrown at him. And eventually it got so bad that referees even had to stop games, as after Barcelona and Real Madrid's clash in 2002, the referee had to stop the game for 20 minutes, due to the amount of stuff being thrown at Figo, as for some reason he went to take corners and throw-ins, which just made him an even bigger target. So I don't think Barca fans took that transfer so lightly. So yeah, those are some of the worst betrayals we've seen in football, in my opinion anyway. But let me know if you guys agree or not. Is there any players I've missed out on, or is my list good as it is? Drop a comment down below. And if you did enjoy, make sure to like and subscribe to help out the channel, as it's always appreciated. Thanks for watching. This has been Discussing Ball.